We know there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. A reality radio show where nothing is left unsaid.
And no one is insignificant who shares.
I'm joined here by recording artist Lolita Robinson.
How are you doing today?
And my co-host. Welcome to another day of Joy in My House.
Welcome. I'm glad to be here. It's been, you're flying high again. I'm not on drugs, but just on life, right?
You know what? I had my daughter. It was my daughter's birthday last weekend. But she was with her mother.
And you were sad.
I was.
Yes, you were. You were really sad.
You know what? If it wasn't for her being born, I don't think I would have gone through the journey that I went through.
That's right.
And it was because of her that I wanted to change my life. And it was because of her that I gave my life to Christ.
Very true. And the first two you did a good job. But this one here, you get to kind of, it's a difference, isn't it, with your other two?
Well, because of my relationship with Christ now, I have a lot more peace. I have a lot more grace. And it allows me to be in the moment when I'm with my daughter. So this weekend was her birthday weekend, so I have a lot of time to spend with her.
That's so good.
Made it about her, even though every weekend I get her, it's about her.
It's about her, yeah. Good for you.
I really get to share that.
People need to know that. I mean, you're on the go and you always look really nice and you go to these events, but you really are, even when I first met you, father's heart first. So I'm looking forward to the Father's Day show, right?
Yes, the Father's Day special.
I'm going to be interviewing you.
I'll be sharing my testimony.
But you do have a father's heart.
Thank you.
Really do. So,
but it took a lot. It was a process.
Yeah.
And we talk about that process and having that faith through life's challenges.
Right.
Because we all have life's challenges. But having that faith and that foundation allows us to go through those challenges with a little bit more grace.
Right.
Which was last week's guest.
Amazing. Kim
Redmond. She had an amazing story.
She did.
Of her faithfulness.
She going through 30 operations?
30
I leave here and I really, it encourages my faith because sometimes I can get in a pity party and I think, Lord, why me? Mm-hmm. But boy, when I have different people that come on, and I just heard a little bit of our guest that's getting ready to come on, it really lets me know that God is real and that none of us walks a life without trials and tribulations.
That's right.
I wish we had concentrated more. I wanted to ask her more about heaven. Mm-hmm. Remember she talked about that.
She talked about breathing in, and she felt like she was breathing in the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, she did.
And I was thinking about that right before I picked up my daughter from San Diego, and I was thinking, God, if I were to pass for whatever reason, if that's what I have to look forward to,
that's right.
I'm okay.
Yeah, she talked about
I'm
the
scared,
colors. Yeah,
but I'm okay. So when she talks about that, it gives me a sense of peace.
Yeah, that's why I wonder. Well, maybe again we can have her come on, having the near-death experience. We're doing this show for life, but also for eternal life. Mm-hmm. That there is life after this, and it is worth it. So I'm looking forward to it, and good job.
I want to thank all of our listeners and viewers out there for being a part of the joy that we have in our house here on this network's website on www.latalklive.com. If you just click on the network's website, you'll find us streaming live every Sunday here at noon. But if you become a fan of our fan page on Facebook, /Joy in My House, you'll receive up-to-date lineups of guests and information. You can also find us on twitter.com /Joy in My House and tweet us with any questions or comments you might have. We also have our Instagram page that is up at Instagram.com /Joy in My House, and you can follow us as well. We have a great show for you today, ladies and gentlemen, by the name of Quincy D'Angelo, amazing performer and recording artist.
You met him again on the red carpet.
Yeah, I met him again.
You've got a lot of good guests have come through that. It's amazing how the Lord has put all this, just this caliber of talent. But the thing that blesses me from the people that I've got to meet through you is not only are they performing, but they're giving back. They're sharing their stories. They're reaching out to the community. So I can't wait to hear what Quincy has to say. And hello, Van. I always want to say hi to you. And Quincy has a beautiful woman in the studio with him today. And I can't pronounce her name, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful name.
But I like
Anoka. She's awesome. So.
But I like what you just said. People. I ran into an old client of mine, an old student of mine. and her son at my local Albertsons, where I ran a martial arts studio there. And she's a Facebook friend of mine, and she tells me, wow, you live such an exciting life. You hang out with models and you're on red carpets and you're jet setting to New York and all these things. And from the outside, I told her it looks very glamorous. But I go through the same struggles.
That's right.
And as everybody does.
That's right.
There's loneliness. There's depression at times.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes you're thinking, God, why am I in this situation?
Financial
why are you
stuff, yeah.
Financial, I'm there right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, I thought this was going to go to the next level. When is it going to be your time to take this? All those things that we all struggle with.
Right.
If we come together as a community, as a family, like this show gives us that opportunity to hear other people's stories, it allows us to have a little bit of hope.
Yes, it does. And hope and encourage other people that no matter what you go through and the obstacles, so many people, the obstacles. So I don't want to talk more because I want Quincy to come on.
But I did want to mention something before we go to our commercial break
Okay.
that you always talk about is that credibility.
Right.
The fact that we go through these challenges and struggles, it allows us when we speak to have weight.
That's right.
To have credibility.
There you go.
And I was thinking about that as I get to read these stories, these biographies.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you really
these
go into depth
testimonies.
with people. Yeah.
And I like to pray about it before, and it was something that I wanted to touch on because you taught me that.
Thank you.
You taught me that, and I live it now because it was a lesson that you taught me.
Well, I appreciate that.
So for those of you who are listening and viewing, want to thank you for being a part of the joy that we have in our house here on Joy in My House. I want you to stay tuned because when we come back, we're going to have Quincy D'Angelo going to be sharing his testimony, his story, and the projects that he's working on now. You're not going to want to miss.
And sing too.
And his live performance. You're not going to want to miss. This is Joy in My House, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Starlet Quarles, and I'm inviting you to join us every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People. Join us as we discuss the topics that are relevant to today's generational leaders. So don't forget to tune in to The Dialogue, Real Talk, Real People, every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey, shout us out. What's the count? Tune in to WDC Radio with me, Ferran Dozier, your host, a.k.a. I Am WDC, on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, as we cover aspects of sickle cell trait, interviews with doctors, nurses, caregivers, and those living with sickle cell. So be sure to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific on WDC Radio, exclusively here on LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk.
Hello, I'm Joel Ramirez.
And I'm Lolita Robinson Coppage, and welcome to Joy in My House
on latalklive.com. Inspirational radio
with a touch of recovery.
A reality show where nothing is left unsaid
and no one is insignificant who says it.
Exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B or watch us on Ustream TV.
Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. I'm joined here by my co-host and author of Shaped by the Master's Hand, Very
Lolita
good to
Robinson,
see you.
And our in-studio guest, Quincy D'Angelo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We always like to let our audience and viewers know how we met. It's always interesting how God books the show, and we talk about that kind of consistently on the show, how we want certain guests to come on and we call them up and they don't call us back, and then we release it to God and he puts the perfect person right on that chair. And he did that again with you. We
Thank
met
you.
through an Oscar party at the Warner Brothers estate here in Beverly Hills on the red carpet. It was hosted by Daphne Ziman, who is the founder of Children Uniting Nations. And it was interesting because we had met several times,
Yes.
but never the connection. It was actually through Robert, who is one of the producers, who's a good friend of mine, called me and said, you got to have Quincy on your show.
Beautiful.
Okay.
And that is when you called me.
Yes.
And
That's so cool.
And I'm glad you did.
When did you guys talk or call her?
Last week.
Last week.
Last week.
Good. Okay.
Yes.
And I had a couple people lined up for this Sunday show, but I allowed God to do it.
That's right.
You know, I feel like I got to call them up. They haven't called and confirmed for the booking of the show,
Mhm.
but you called me.
Yes.
And that's how I knew God wanted you on the show today.
Thank you.
Now, you performed that night.
I did.
That night.
I
That's
did.
so cool.
And Shaka Khan had some really nice words to say about
What
you.
did she say?
She said that he was... Go ahead.
She said that I was wonderful and finally a man with a beautiful voice.
Oh, now you can take that to the bank.
Oh, I am. That's from Shaka Khan.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Now, was that the first time you performed for the event, or it was a second time?
It was the second time.
Second
Yes.
time, because I met you on
Yes.
that red carpet several times.
Yes.
Well, how did you get involved with Daphne?
I got involved with that through Robert Merrill.
Okay, through Robert.
Yes.
Okay, you talk a lot about him.
Yes. So that's how I linked
right.
up with Daphne Ziman.
And Robert had a couple really good guests come on the show, especially on that day. There was one guest that was booked for the show, couldn't make it for the sound check, and I was just upset. How can you
Yeah.
unbook my show because of a sound check? And then the person he brought was an amazing guest.
Wow.
Yes.
See how he go? Okay, then that's great. You got to get Robert on one day. Hi, Robert. Come on.
Rob.
Well, we like to let our audience and viewers know, get a little bit of family origin from you, where you grew up, and a little bit about your history before we start going into some of your testimony.
Okay.
You grew up in Buffalo, New York.
Yes.
You had 2 brothers, and your mother was a foster child who was adopted by her loving parents.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your mom.
Well, my mother, Lisa Liggins, she's an amazing woman. And growing up, she did her best to raise her 3 boys at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we had it rough growing up. She was given up at birth for adoption, and she'd been to multiple different foster homes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And, you know, she had it rough. And just growing up, she showed us she did the best that she could do to help raise her kids, to be inspiration, just be the best that we could be and never give up. Never, no matter what.
Even with her own, the father, was your father in the picture, or she was a single mother, obviously, or?
Well, my real father at the time, he was murdered when I was a child. So, you know, until I got older, you know,
Okay.
she met, you know, the love of her life now, which is my dad. So yes. So
Oh,
she,
my
you
goodness.
know, she did the best she can do for many years by herself until she met my father now.
Well, my love goes out to your mother, because
Thank
she
you.
had to work from a place of not having a whole lot herself in terms of emotional security.
Yes.
I have 3 sons myself. I didn't have that background, but I know how hard that is. And
Yeah.
for her to get you guys over the threshold, congratulations to your mom.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I can see the love in your eyes for her.
Absolutely. I love my mom.
Oh,
I
that's,
really
that's
do.
awesome. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Well, let's talk about growing up, because it was a struggle. It was a challenge. You weren't born into a position of stature or a position of finance. You grew up in a low-income environment. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that growing up stage, especially with your stepfather.
hmm Okay, yes. Growing up in Buffalo, New York at the time, when I was a child, with my mother and my 2 brothers, we all were poor.
Are you where are you in the lineup?
I am the second youngest boy now.
Okay.
I have stepbrothers now
Okay.
due to my father. So growing up, you know, we were poor, living on the streets, living in shelter homes. And like for a long time, every day at 9 p.m., we would go to McDonald's and eat out of their trash.
Oh my goodness.
And we got to the point in time.
Why at 9 o'clock? What was that?
Well, no one was out.
Oh
and,
boy.
You know, it's just dark, so it's not too
Okay.
many people could see us. So
What was that like?
it was tough. It was tough. But as a child, you know, you look up to your mom like, we respect you. We love you for, you know, just not giving up on us or giving us away. You know, she held us for a long time, you know, a long time. And that just helped encourage me to just never give up, no matter how hard things may be. I just keep moving forward, you know. And we lived in shelter homes for many, many years. And after my foster parents passed away, they gave my mother, they left the house to my mom, Lisa. And that's where we grew up, in a terrible neighborhood, you know.
At least you had a house, though.
At least we had a roof over our head.
You know
no
what?
matter
Hey,
what.
there you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. So
Well, I wanted to talk about the influence, the gang area, the drug influence Did that have any power over you, or how did that affect you growing up in that?
Well, growing up in the hood,
Mm-hmm.
it's terrible. Like when you leave your house, you don't know if you're coming back home. You know, I had nothing to do with the game, but
Right.
these are the people I grew up with.
Did you have
know.
friends that were killed and stuff?
Oh,
where you saw-
absolutely.
No.
There are, out of a bunch of us, there are only 2 living.
Wow.
A lot of them were murdered, and a lot of them are doing 25 to life.
Oh.
You know, so the hood is really no joke, but you have to make the best out of life no matter what environment you are,
Mhm.
because just because people are doing wrong, that doesn't mean you have to do wrong. You know, you just have to manifest happiness and overcome obstacles and move on with your life. You know?
We've seen quite a few people have come had that. They've come from environments where there's been violence and in the hood, and my goodness, God has brought diamonds out of it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Hasn't He? Like, at
right.
least the last 3 or 4 guests we've had.
They grew up in LA in the projects and
Oh
you name it.
man,
Yes,
the
this is
ghetto.
amazing to me.
Yeah, it's
So everybody doesn't. So good things can come out of adversity.
absolutely.
Well, let's talk
absolutely.
about that. What did you feel living in that environment as a young
Were you
kid?
scared?
I mean,
Yeah.
walking to school, walking back. What was that feeling like? Because I think the reason I ask is I think a lot of people out there listening can relate to that, especially because our target demographic does have a lot of youth.
Right.
Some of these children that stay indoors because they don't want to walk out on the streets. They look at the internet, they watch this show. What would you say to them if they're living in an environment that's a little dangerous, a little scary?
Yeah. How did you feel when you did it?
Well, what I did was every single day, first and foremost, I prayed and thanked God
There
for
you
waking
go.
me up each and every morning, start me on my way, and protect me from all hurt, harm, and danger.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that I have God on my side, I wasn't afraid, because living in the hood, you get used to things. You know,
Yeah, it's normal to you.
It's normal.
Yeah.
So I've seen people, shot. I'm just being honest. I've seen people really hurt. I've seen people, but to answer your question, to these kids or whoever growing up in a tough environment, just be safe.
Mm-hmm.
But make sure you have goals. Make sure you have something to work towards. Make
Mhm.
sure that you stay humble and positive, because people around you may be negative, but you don't have to be negative. You stay humble and positive, and encourage those who need help. Pray for those who need help. So that's what I did every day of my life. I prayed. Of course, I hung out with the guys because it's like
That's
nothing
how
else.
you knew, yeah.
Right. They were my friends at the time. And, we played sports and things. It was dangerous. Don't get me wrong. It was dangerous. But just, you have to stay humble. You have to want something in life. What do you want in life? And work towards it. You can get it. It's possible.
Well, I wanted to talk about dysfunction. Did you witness any dysfunction either in your family or close to your family? And did you experience any of that dysfunction?
Yes, my mother, she was brutally beat for many years. And I actually saw my mother get raped before.
Oh my goodness! People
so-
in the neighborhood, or so-called friends, or just
It was a guy. Yeah, he raped my mom. And
Okay. And you saw it.
we saw it, yes. So she just said, Quincy and Scooty, Antoine, walk away.
She was more trying to protect you.
Yes,
Trying to
she,
protect you guys.
she didn't want us to witness what was going on at the time.
How did you feel? I mean, that probably sounds crazy, but sometimes when you experience trauma, you kind of dissociate. You just kind of leave your body, or were you? What did you do?
I was angry.
Okay, so
You
you
know,
were very present.
I was very present and angry, and it's like, you're hurting my mom. Like, what could I do to protect my mom? There was a situation after while my mother's being raped, and my brothers and I actually knew were,
This man was.
yes.
Or this piece of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Me personally, I was going to do something. I was young, like not
How old
mature.
were you? How old are we?
I was maybe 11 years old,
Oh,
11 or
gosh.
12. Yeah. So I was just, my heart was full of anger. So my thoughts was to get at him.
Mhm.
But you know what? If I would have done that, I would have been away from my mother and my family for a very, very, very long time. So I just pray for this guy, and just ask for forgiveness.
Where did
I
faith
forgive
come
him.
from? I'm sure you have that question. Where did faith come from, right?
Yes, that's coming up.
Okay, so I'll wait.
Yeah, I definitely forgive him and everyone else, whoever, does any hurt, harm, or danger to my family or friends, because who am I not to forgive and move on? So I had to forgive this man for doing that to my mom.
Well, how were you and your brothers? Were you and your brothers close?
Yes, we are close. Yes, we're close. Actually, my one brother, he's deaf mute. He can't hear nor talk, so we know sign language fluently. So that's how we communicate with one of my brothers. But yes.
That's awesome.
Well, like Lolita said, were you a church-going family?
Absolutely. We grew up in a church home. Praise God.
So
Yes.
your mother kept her faith.
Oh, she kept her faith like no other. Yes. So, and I grew up like in a church home, and we sang in the choir for many, many years. And I played the drums for about 6 years for my church choir. Yes, it was beautiful.
You know, how do you keep from not being bitter? You know, somebody can come through. I mean, what you just shared with me is like a lifestyle. You've seen people shot, your mother raped, beaten. What kept your heart tender towards God? Because you could have really been angry.
I had a lot of anger in me. I did. I never really showed it. I just held it all inside because I never really had anyone to talk to, you know, one-on-one. Like, even though my mom did the best she can do raising us, it's like when you go outside, it's like the environment raised you, you know, and it's up to you as a human being to do the right thing. Because when you do the wrong thing, you know what's going to happen to you eventually. So that's just the life I did not choose. I chose to be the best man I could be. And that's why I'm still here, staying blessed and moving forward.
Amen.
Well, I wanted to talk about that because you found your passion in music, singing in the church. Did your brothers, the rest of your family, participate in
were they
music
musical?
ministry?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
What about mom's? Mom's a singer?
She is a
That's
singer.
what, okay.
My mom's
That's okay.
And my real father, he was a singer. He had a group.
How
out. He was the lead
interesting.
singer. Yes. I heard stories about it. I only met him probably 4 times out of my whole life. He wasn't really in my life, you know, when he was alive. But I've heard a lot of beautiful things about this man, you know.
So you believe that had he lived, your mother and him probably would have made a go of it?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I won't ask you about his murder, but you are a testimony, you and your brothers. You're carrying on for him. This story
Thank
is
you.
really touching.
Thank you.
Well, let's talk about that because I'm going to go back. At one point, you and your brothers were living out of shelters.
Your mother,
How did that happen? How did that progress to that situation? Because I
Well-
think people can relate.
Okay, yeah, it progressed to that situation because when you hit rock bottom, it's like you have nowhere else to go but to a shelter home. You need, you know, a roof over your head or some type of closure, you know. And living on the streets, you know, day in and day out, it's terrible. It's hurtful. It's wrong, you know. But the shelter home, it helped us to. It was a step one.
were you separated?
No.
You all stayed together?
We stayed
And your
together.
mother was with you too there?
Always.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And then the foster mother left her the house.
Yes, her foster parents left her the house after they passed away to be with God. Yes.
And her parents were loving parents, actually. Her
absolutely.
foster parents really took...
How old was
To
she when
your daughter.
when she was placed with them?
I think she was about maybe 15 or 17 years old. Yeah,
When she was placed with them, she was that age?
Yeah, she was in multiple foster homes, like with abuse and, you know, things like that. But finally, she was taken good care of as a teenager by her foster parents.
So no wonder you're giving back to Daphne's organization.
Yes.
No wonder.
Mm-hmm.
You have a heart for that.
Thank you. I do.
Yeah, I guess so. And probably for homeless people, too.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
I'm sure that's going to come into the picture.
Yes. In fact, when I see a homeless person, I give money or food, you know, anything I could do to help because I was once there and I know how it feels. It's not pretty. It's not, and when I was, you know, back home in Buffalo, I worked with kids at a school 6, for about 5 years, from pre-K to 8th graders. And, you know, it's not a good neighborhood either. We have, you know, inner city kids who are hostile. So I relate to that because that's how I grew up. So they look up to me as a role model, like from pre-K to 8th graders, like hands down. I was like one of the best inspirations they could possibly have at the time. And it hurt me my heart that I moved away and left them behind, but I have to do what's best for me, you know, and I hope I reached at
Reach
least
more people.
one. Yes.
And more people.
Yeah,
Yes.
at least one.
Yes.
And, you know, I don't think somebody from the outside going in can really, I think we can help, you know, resources and come alongside. But unless you've been there,
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, and going on what you said, Lolita, it's if you're not from or did what people or walk their shoes, you really don't know what people been through. So by you being, you know, exposed to all of that, negativity or whatever you went through, the same people that's going through what you've been through, they can relate to that, and they just need to hear how did you overcome that,
That's
and
right.
what did you do to keep moving and get out of that mess. You know, so it's a beautiful thing. Just
And we're gonna
God
get to
uses
that,
it, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna get to that
Yeah.
because one day you're walking home from school, you sat down on a vacant porch, and this is where you heard God speak to you.
yes,
Tell us about that experience because I think that is very profound.
yes, yeah. One day I was, coming home from school.
How old?
I was 18, no 17. I
17.
was graduating 18. I'm sorry.
Like, Mom, that's the magic number for you
That's
guys.
it.
Okay.
Yes. And I was a senior at the time. So when I got to my street and I went home, dropped off my book bag. Of course, I did my homework, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Yeah.
So after I finished my homework, I went down the street with my friends, and God told me, go across the street, sit on that abandoned porch. And I'm like, okay. So I went over there and I sat down, and I'm like, what now? He was like, look at your friends. What do you see? Look at the environment around you. And that moment changed my life for the better forever, because when you're in a circle, you can't really see what's going on because you're involved. But when you step outside the circle, you can actually see.
Mm-hmm.
And what I saw was, my friend drinking and smoking and, weapons, like that's not the life that I want for the rest of my life. Just because they're doing it, I didn't do it, but they were my friends. Like what else could you do? But we played a lot of sports and things like that. But getting back on this topic, that moment changed my life, because that moment I realized I have so much to live for. I have so much to gain. What they're doing, half of them will disappear.
Like you said, only 2 survived.
And sure enough, half of them disappeared. And it was a bunch of us, I'm telling you. And it hurts me to my heart, because still to this day, I shed tears, of course, because when you have true friends that you grow with and they're all gone, you'll never see them again, it's hurtful. It is. And change is always good, but I'm not stuck in my past, but
it
they're
still
with me.
influences you.
Yeah, they're with me, and I'm working hard, and they're proud of me regardless. They're
We
proud
have
of
that
me.
passion, and you can see it.
Thank you.
It motivates you.
Yes.
You're kind of living on through them, telling their story,
Yes.
and helping other kids when they get at that crossroad, like you made that decision. So the Lord really had you to just sit back. How long were you sitting there?
I was probably a good 10 minutes.
Okay.
That's a long time sitting on the abandoned porch by yourself.
Yeah, right. No, but that's true. But
Yes.
and He spoke to you. And,
He spoke to me. And I just sat there and observed, like, just every little thing, even details. I'm like, graffiti on the walls, these, like, it was a bunch of guys, like, in a circle, music blasting, and just drinks all on their car, just, and never know who's going to come around that corner, to do whatever. But it was a scary life at the time. But like I said, I was used to that environment because that's how I grew up.
Well, it's kind of like God was telling you, okay, you need to make a choice.
That's right. You're absolutely right.
He was like, you need to make a choice. Let's sit down. I love Isaiah 1. Come, let us reason together. I mentor ladies sometimes, and he comes and goes, let's talk about this, because you do have a choice.
Yes, that's right.
Well, let's touch on that because you did have a choice and you did make a choice. Because of the house that your mother was left with, it gave you a little bit of consistency, a roof over your head, gave you some comfort. But then you had a cousin who had access to a recording studio who allowed you to come in and you actually record your first song called Look at Your Body. And it was actually got a lot of radio play on WBLK in Buffalo, New York.
Look at your face.
Tell us about that
Yeah,
experience.
now let's get to the good, the fun stuff, Yeah, how'd your cousin have this record, this recording studio?
Yes, my cousin. He's been saying this for many years. Quincy, come on, record. I just kind of brushed it off a little bit. I'm like, okay, because I was doing other things as well. So finally one day, I'm like, what, cousin? I'm ready. What you got for me? So he told me to come on over, and he showed me. He let me hear a bunch of instrumentals, and I picked the best one for me, and I took it home with me, and I wrote 100% Look at Your Body. And the next couple, after it was mixed and mastered, the next couple of weeks, they played on the radio for quite some time.
Oh my
The very first time I
goodness.
wrote a song, it was on the radio live.
Well, because I don't know if you're not going to perform that one, but what's the premise behind Look at Your Body? What were you saying? Was it, or is that like sexual healing? Is that what? Okay.
You called it. You called it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, hey, we got to get a door in. He's cracking up. If you could turn red, you'd be brief red. Okay.
Yeah, to answer your question, when I wrote the song, I thought of women.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what size you are.
There you go.
You have to be confident. So it went like, look at your body, look at your frame. I love it when you take over and do your thing.
All right.
You know?
Okay.
So
Hey, I asked.
No matter what you're doing, be confident, you know?
There you go. Okay.
Just work it. Just be happy. And
There you go.
Well, you got radio play. You
Yes.
started performing, but again, you still had these choices and these decisions that you had to make, and you made a very important one, which is something that you advocate, and that is you ended up going to college.
Yes.
Wow.
Now, how did you got?
Yeah.
how
What
did
kind
you
of
get in-
student were you were before that? That's
exactly
Yeah.
to get introduced to go to college.
Yes. I would like grammar school. Well, I should say high school. High school, I really took school serious because I knew school education was my ticket out the hood. Like that was the only option I had personally. So
Yeah, but have the confidence to even go.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I made sure I studied hard. I passed. So make a long story short, with this situation, Mike Cordovano, which was my coach at the time, he came and recruited me. So
What were you playing, basketball?
Yes, basketball, college
Okay.
basketball. So I was recruited to Jamestown Community College at the time in 2001. So I played basketball and I was a shooting guard, and that helped save my life to get out the hood. That was my ticket out, education.
Well, Lolita always talks about how God places people in your lives to kind of give you some guidance, give you some direction, and that was this coach for you, because you ended up going to community college and getting your degree in criminal justice.
Yes.
How did you do
Tell
that?
us why
Wow.
criminal justice.
Yes. Well,
Law and Order?
well, at the time, I wanted to become a defensive lawyer, you know, to defend people, not put them away in prison. You know, a lot of people don't deserve to be in prison. A lot of people deserve a second chance in life, you know, regardless of what they did. Well, some, I should say. But when I went to Jamestown Community College, I did not graduate there. I was living a college life at the
Okay.
time. I played sports, like I said.
Did you ever do drugs or alcohol? Doesn't sound. Did you ever get into that?
I did.
Okay. Look at his face.
I-
Was like, oh, okay, we're
Yes.
gonna go there. But all this stuff is. Listen, all this stuff is really good because you've overcome these things. We're talking
Yes.
about what you did.
Yes. That's
So
right.
this is important because we got people that might be still in it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, so I'm glad to hear that you've overcome. So
Absolutely.
so in
So
college
let's talk
you were
about that college.
Thank you.
You were living the college life,
Yes.
but you continue. You
I could, yes, I was living a college life, and I played my first year. My second year, I went back to Jamestown, and my grades were horrible. Too much partying, and just, like I said, living a college life. So I was kicked off the team, and
Okay.
that smacked me right in the
All
forehead.
right, so God said, I'm going to start taking that switch out now.
That's right, and that's what he did. So
Yeah.
he took away something I really loved to do. So my academic grades, you know, they fell below, you know, so I was on probation, and I did not finish there. So when I went back home to Buffalo, New York, I'm like, okay, Quincy, you get it together now. You got a taste of the college life. You got to finish. You never start anything that you cannot finish. You know better than that. So that's what I did. I went to Erie Community College, and I took up criminal justice because I wanted to become a defensive lawyer. And there I graduated within 2 years on a dean's list.
Oh,
With
boy.
honors.
on the dean's
Yes.
list with
Wow.
honors.
With honors.
Wow.
And then I pursued my career to get my bachelor's degree at Buffalo State College. I have associates. I have a bachelor's in sociology, I'm sorry. And I made the dean's list there as well
Oh,
with
my
honors.
goodness.
So I have 2 college degrees, and I made sure I got my education out the way before I really pursued what God has blessed me to do, and that's music.
Well, before we go, because let's talk about partying.
Let's
talk
I'm the
about-
life of the party.
So, hey, Joel was alive on the party.
was alive
He
on the
knows how to
party.
work his way. I tell you, we went to this event and it was kind of fun. But Joel just knew his way around. He said, "You never did." I know I didn't. But what can you say about? You got to go through that. But what can you guys say as men to kind of balance that out?
For me personally, I had issues, and I wanted to be recognized. I wanted some validation.
Okay.
So I had to be this big personality so people can look at me, pay attention to me, value me. So what I would do is drink and party, and then I'd want to go home with somebody. One of the girls would go home with me. Then I felt valued. They validated me. little did I know that God-shaped hole could only be filled by God. But for me, that scene was glamorous, especially when I trained with my master. I used to walk into a restaurant, everybody would bow to me, everybody would serve me hand and foot, and it was a sense of, this false sense of empowerment. So I think for me, it was just such an addiction. That was my addiction, was that lifestyle.
What about you?
Well, mine.
What were you trying to do for the young people out there that think that they're having? I mean, when you look at all of drinking and going to Vegas and all, you know, I'm not putting all that down, but what would you say? I mean, what was it for you when you were doing that? Were you looking for something or just?
At the time when I was partying, you know, living a cottage lifestyle, partying and going out and having a great time, it was cool at the time. I don't recommend you all doing it too much because hangovers are no joke, first and foremost. And secondly, it's like, especially with drugs, like, come on, people, like that will slow you up so much from your career, you know, and just enjoy life and be happy. But you don't need alcohol nor drugs to be happy or be the life of the party.
There you go.
You just don't.
That's very well said.
See, I always thought I needed that to
Right.
enhance what I was doing, and it was the opposite. It was actually making it fuzzy.
Yeah.
I wasn't being present,
Right.
especially emotionally. You know, it was stuffing all my pain, my resentment, my depression.
Wow.
So it did the opposite for me.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, you think, oh wow, this is the life.
Yeah.
And I think that's a false sense of reality. Like I was saying earlier before the commercial break, me just being present in my daughter's life, taking her, we ended up hanging out at a doll store, the American Girl doll store at the Grove.
Beautiful.
Oh,
That's
man.
what we do.
Beautiful.
I go have cupcakes and tea with my
Jesus,
daughter.
only Jesus. Only.
And not just that, with the doll. And I got to pay for the doll too. I tell you.
That's
But
amazing.
being present and
Yeah.
having that reality of what my life really is
Yes.
priceless. No drug, no alcohol, no woman can give me what that moment gives me. And it's because I have this peace with Christ
Yes.
that I know that he has me there to be a part of my daughter's life. It's priceless.
That's right.
So I think that reality and that false sense of reality are two different things that people misunderstand, especially now we're going to go into your career. Being in the music industry, how did that affect you once you got in there?
Music.
Go ahead. No, I'm going to ask you about Ananaka soon, but go ahead.
Okay.
I want to hear.
Yeah, music. It's part of me. It's music. Is who I am. Music is my therapy. Without music, I don't know what I would be doing right now. Like that's just my, like, some people, oh, I love music, but like that's my
That's who you are,
passion.
that's your
like
soul.
that's me. Like, please don't take music away from me. You take music away from me, I'm going to follow it. I'm going to chase it.
What would happen with the, obviously the Lord led you towards the music. We have more of a platform. You didn't go into become an attorney, or, but you can use that.
Yes, I can. Yes.
Yeah. So how did that, the music and the,
After college, you transfer, you get your bachelor's. How did you transfer then to the music? How was that transition?
Oh, that's simple. Okay, Quincy, as soon as you're done with your education, take your music 2,000% serious. And that's exactly what I did. So I kind of, put the education to the side because I accomplished.
but you did it.
I did it.
You
I
got
have
that.
2 college degrees out the way. First and foremost, people, get your education.
there
It's
you
important.
go. I love it. And quit the partying.
And
have,
quit-
have a little bit of party. You got to have a
Yeah,
little
you
bit.
have to have fun, from time to time
Right.
to unwind and have some wine, But just make sure you be careful and be safe and enjoy life. But my music is my therapy, and I love music. That's it.
Because in 2011, you recorded your first hit single, "Be My Girlfriend," with Grammy nominee and producer Richard Vision
Yes.
Jeez.
and Chico
Bennett.
Bennett.
Yes.
Now, when did you come to LA? I mean, okay, with all this going on in New York still.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, 2011. At the time, before I had a manager, I knew someone who knew Richard Vision and Chico Bennett.
That's how it goes.
Yes.
You got to have the talent
Exactly.
to back it up, but you do need people to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my manager at the time, we flew out here to Los Angeles to meet with these big producers, and they heard my demo. They heard 2 songs only, and they pressed play, and they weren't, bobbing their head or anything. I'm like, oh, they hate my voice. They hate my
Oh,
music.
they're different, boy.
What a waste.
Yeah, LA is different. They don't
Yes.
show anything,
They don't.
but they,
Right.
Yeah.
So they was like, okay, we'll get back to you guys. And I'm like, this is it? We flew out here for, okay. So I said, okay, thank you for the opportunity. No problem. So flew back to Buffalo, New York. And within 3 weeks, they contacted us and like, hey, we have a song for you. It's called Be My Girlfriend. We want you to sing it.
Oh my goodness.
And that's when I was really jumping for joy. So,
Because it wasn't something you wrote.
no, I didn't write
So
this song.
you got a real humble heart, because a lot of artists get really
yeah.
upset.
Yeah.
Because you could have just taken that as an insult.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't write that song. And if I didn't do anything, if I didn't write a song, I'll admit I didn't write the song. A hit is a hit, regardless
There you go.
of, who wrote it,
There you go.
Hey, it's beautiful music. And so they flew us back out here to Los Angeles, and I recorded the song within 3.5 hours, and they mixed it and mastered it 2 weeks later, and ended up doing a music video here in Los Angeles
That's
as well.
so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah. So that really sparked my interest. Like,
Okay.
man, I'm with these Grammy-nominated producers. Usher was in the studio, not with me, but they recorded in the studio. Usher, Enrique Iglesias, Black Eyed Peas.
So you've been there. You
Yeah,
know.
yes,
You know.
yes.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, what an opportunity, because you even did
Yeah.
a music video, and you recorded the music video at the famous Green Door
Green
here
Door.
in Hollywood.
Yes, and Prince, he used to go there quite often. Prince, yes.
Well, you got to say,
I did
listen,
my research.
But you know what? That is your credentials. I mean,
Yes.
we got to have them.
Yes.
You know?
And it didn't stop there, because you were featured in Splash Magazine.
Yes.
Then you got the opportunity to perform for the Music MTV Awards show event at the SLS Hotel here in Beverly Hills.
Yes.
So things are really kind of
And
just
his face
moving
is so cute. He's like, yes.
because I can see that this is your passion.
Yeah, you can see
you,
it.
you enjoy doing it, and we talked about, I was having dinner with one of the attorneys for Manny Pacquiao
Wow.
yesterday, and we were sitting down and we were talking about some
And
of
what
these,
is his name? And is he looking for a wife? I mean, hook a sister up. I mean, here, Van Eric's talking about Shaka gonna be on his show. Shaka's your good friend. You got these. Y'all hook a sister up.
Well, like I said, we're hoping to network everything together, and this is how we get our amazing guests on the show.
No, I love it though.
But we were talking about passion and how some of these great talent,
Yeah.
they're very diva. They have great gifts,
Right.
but no direction, and it's all about them.
There you go.
So they fall at the wayside. But some of these people that are very committed and very
Yeah.
passionate
Been through
about what
hell
they
and
do,
back.
and they don't do it for the money. You don't do it for the notoriety. You do it because of the love
That's right.
for your gift.
Mm-hmm.
You get a lot further for a lot longer.
Yes.
And I was having that conversation with this gentleman at dinner, and you just said that your passion for it, you didn't care who wrote the song.
Right.
There you go.
You just cared that there's an opportunity to share your gift.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is so important for those of you who are listening out there and viewing. You want to be famous, you want to make money, but that's not what's going to get you to your goal. It's going to be your love and commitment.
And your passion.
And your
There you
passion
go.
for what the
There you
gifts that
go.
God has given you.
There you go. That's really well said.
And I think that was the most important thing
Thank you.
for some of these amazing people that are on the top now. It's because they have a great passion for it. Manny didn't do it for the money. He grew up from humble beginnings.
Right.
He does it for the love of the sport and his drive.
But he's giving back too.
Oh yeah,
in the community, from what I understand.
quite a bit.
This is
back.
what I'm impressed by you all. Well, I don't know if you're getting ready to go for a break, but I would like to know how you met your friend.
We're gonna touch on that right now before we
Okay.
go to a commercial break, because
Right.
Lolita always likes to talk about that.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing because it talks about our relationships here on earth. God put us on this earth
Yeah,
for
people,
relationships,
yeah.
Right.
to love one another, to build one another. So tell
That's
us how
right.
you met your beautiful girlfriend.
Anoka. We met at my job.
Okay.
I work at a hospital, and
Oh,
yeah,
is this story ever? Okay, go ahead.
at the time, her name is Jane,
Mm-hmm.
and she's blind. So she came to my hospital for about maybe 3 weeks to visit with her husband, who was in ICU at the time. And I took great care of her. Every time she came in, I would have lunch with her. I would escort her to the room. I would say a little prayer with her. And, unfortunately, her husband passed away. And that's when Anoka came flying in, and I was just like...
She was a good friend of hers?
She was, yes,
the blind lady.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, they're great friends. And Anoka came in to help support, and that's where we
Got
met.
to know each other.
Yes,
Met.
yes. So it was a benefit.
Well, she's very supportive. I mean, I asked her, I'm here for support, and I just,
Yes.
That's awesome. That's what Joel's talking about. We need that in life.
Well, look, you were giving some of your gifts, some of your time, some
Right.
of your energy to this young lady. And what did God do? He blessed you in a way that you didn't even think you were going to be
That's right.
blessed. Introduced you to somebody that now is a partner in your life.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that a lot of people out there manipulate and control. I want to meet this person. This person has to have these qualifications. And they're so manipulative, and then nobody reaches their expectation.
Right.
But when God does it, it's the perfect person. It's
That's
the perfect
right.
match.
And I
Right.
always like to acknowledge the people that come in. Maybe people, I'm always talking to the people that come because they are a support of your team. And when we have guests that come here, I like to acknowledge the people, Joel and I do, because they're supporting what the guests are doing. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't wait till you sing.
Well, today you're going to be performing live. You'll be doing one of your originals?
Or my
Glorious.
well,
It was a collaboration.
collaboration with Glorious, yes.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Be My Girlfriend I did not write.
Okay, but you're not
So-
singing Be My Girlfriend today.
Yes,
Oh,
he's
you
singing
are?
it as a
Oh,
closing.
oh, good,
So
okay.
when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, D'Angelo will be performing Glorious. You're not going to want to miss. This is Joy in My House. I want you to stay tuned because we're going to come right back.
Yes.
Hi, this is Dick and Sharon, inviting you to join us every Monday at 3 Pacific for LA Progressive Live.
Join us as we cover the progressive landscape both locally and across the nation.
So don't forget to tune in to LA Progressive Live every Monday at 3 Pacific.
Exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, AHA Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV Radio.
Or just watch and listen directly at latalklive.com and LA Progressive Live. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure.
This is LA Talk Live and LA Progressive Live. We are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Michael Carson, inviting you to join me every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific for See It Clearly. Join me as we discuss the topics of health, relationships, and the latest in life-improving information. So don't forget to tune in to See It Clearly Tuesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio and R&B, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, Live 365, or just watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hey everybody, it's your man Sabir Bay back on your airwaves, inviting you to join us every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the Sabir Bay Show, discussing history, law, and hip-hop. Every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the Sabir Bay Show, exclusively on latalklive.com. You also can catch us on iTunes Radio and R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, and now Stitcher Radio. Or watch us and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Dr. Levi, your fitness doctor, making a personal house call, inviting you to join me Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific for my all-new show, The Dr. Levi Show. Join us as we discuss fitness, health, and well-being, including emotional and spiritual health. So don't forget to tune in to The Dr. Levi Show every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com and the Talk Live Broadcast Network. You can also catch us on iTunes, Radio R&B, or watch us on Ustream.tv, or catch us on the Live 365 network, and now on Radio Flag and Stitcher Radio. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Ro Williams, and I would like to invite you to join GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show, GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio, exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes under R&B or watch us live on Ustream TV. We are reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com. We're more than just talk. We're heaven's party here on earth.
Hi, this is Elena, inviting you to join me every Wednesday at noon for Elena's Beauty Talk and more, exclusively on LA Talk Live. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, or watch us on Ustream.tv. Reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, I'm Ro Williams, and I would like to invite you to join GospelRhythms.com every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our show, GospelRhythms.com Talk Live Radio. Join us as we celebrate Christians around the world in all genres of entertainment, as well as highlight interest stories on men and women who are making a difference and impacting their community. So don't forget to tune in to GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio, exclusively on LATalkLive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes under R&B or watch us live on Ustream TV. We are reality radio, handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is GospelRhythms.com, Talk Live Radio on LATalkLive.com. We're more than just talk. We're heaven's party here on earth.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Joy in My House, inspirational reality radio show with a touch of recovery. We're coming back live from the studios here at LATalkLive.com with our in-studio guest, Quincy D'Angelo, who'll be performing live his song, Glorious. Here it is.
I did it all wrong, now I know what I must do to carry on. I did it all wrong, now I know. Finally all the lights turn on, I'm gonna be glorious. I'm gonna be glorious, yeah. I'm sitting here watching my favorite show. I've been there a million times before, still chasing the American dream. You know exactly what I mean. I did it all wrong, now I know what I must do to carry on. I did it all wrong, now I know. Finally all the lights turn on, I'm gonna be glorious, yeah. I keep on fighting every day, gonna be glorious. I need to step up my game. Even if you hit the ground, give it all you got. I'm gonna be glorious, glorious. I'm gonna be glorious. Wasting my time, I need to read between the lines. It was all there, how could I miss all the signs? Still chasing the American dream. You know exactly what I mean. I did it all wrong, now I know what I must do to carry on. I did it all wrong, now I know. Finally all the lights turn on, I'm gonna be glorious, yeah. I keep on fighting every day. We gotta step up our game. Just give it all you got. I'm gonna be glorious, glorious. I'm gonna be glorious. I realize now that I'm fully awake, I won't go back and make the same mistake. I did it all wrong, now I know what I must do to carry on. I did it all wrong, now I know. Finally Put your hands in the air and be glorious. Glorious. Yeah. We gotta step up our game. Hit the ground. I'm gonna be glorious, glorious. I'm gonna be glorious. One more time, y'all. Glorious. Yeah. We gotta work together. Hit the ground. Gotta give it all you got. I'm gonna be glorious. Glorious. We gotta work together.
Ladies and gentlemen, Glorious by D'Angelo. Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you.
Your live performance here on Joy in My House is always a blessing. I do want to let everybody know that your next song is going to be My Girlfriend, and they can find the video on YouTube. Tell us your YouTube channel.
Yes, you guys can look me up on YouTube under Quincy D'Angelo, Quincy D-Angelo.
And let's give a shout out to your Twitter page, your Instagram, and your Facebook. Let everybody know where they can find more information about Quincy D'Angelo.
Yes, my Facebook page, you all can find me under Quincy D'Angelo, and Instagram at Quincy D'Angelo, and Twitter at Quincy D'Angelo as well.
Now you're working on your next hit single, Hey DJ.
Yes.
It's a little more upbeat, a little more of a club song. Tell us why you're doing some of that music now.
You know, nowadays it's more pop. You know, so I just want everyone to really enjoy my lyrics and a great assured sound, you know, to what's going on with Hey DJ. Hey DJ, that explains a lot, because the DJ has a lot to do with this record, because without the DJ, ain't no music going to be played at these shows. So stay tuned to Hey DJ.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Quincy D'Angelo, you're going to be performing Be My Girlfriend here on Joy in My House. Take it away.
As loud as it goes?
I wish that we could take a minute to get to know each other. You look so familiar. Swear we met once or twice, only said a few words to one another. I never got your number. Last night I was out again with all my friends, then you came through. You said hello, you started to go, had to let you know that I wanted you, hoping you feel it too. I know you're not my girlfriend, but I should be your boyfriend. You look good as my girlfriend. So baby, let's go, let's go, let's go. Just be my girlfriend. Come on. Don't mind if I have to change or rearrange my plans, or if they ever happen, but you're better than them. Next time I see you, don't want it to be an accident. I wanna show up with you, yeah. Last night I was out again with all my friends, then you came through. You said hello, you started to go, had to let you know that I wanted you, hoping you feel it too. Come on. I know you're not my girlfriend, but I should be your boyfriend. You look good as my girlfriend. So baby, let's go, let's go, let's go. Just be my girlfriend. Check it. Standing so close to me, obvious chemistry, the kind you can't duplicate. That's what we got, and I can guarantee this thing with you and me won't ever stop, 'cause I'll never leave. No, no, no. Baby, just come and be my girl. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go, just be my girlfriend. Come on. So baby, let's go, just be my girlfriend.
Quincy D'Angelo, ladies and gentlemen, be my girlfriend.
Thank you all.
Quincy, the name of the show is Joy in My House. The premise is the joy that we have in the midst of our challenges, in the midst of our praise and successes. We have to ask you, what does joy in my house mean to you in today's day and age, Quincy?
First and foremost, that word joy means a lot to me because I am joy. Can't nobody steal that joy away from us. So joy in my house means family. It means happiness. It means peace. It means love. And it's amazing.
Well, Quincy, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for taking the time out. Great performances. Quincy D'Angelo, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to find him on Facebook, /Quincy D'Angelo. Find him on Instagram, /Quincy D'Angelo. And join us live every Sunday here at noon. Next week, we have our in-studio guest, Kathy Taylor, where she'll be releasing her book, her new book, Hurting Moms. You're not going to want to miss. This is Joy in My House, ladies and gentlemen. You guys have a blessed day. We'll see you live next Sunday at noon.
Thank you.